Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Team Check-In. We're so glad to have you here. This is Emre with Teamflect, with Jack the puppy hanging out next to me as always. Will he chime in with a bark or two this time around? You can never know, but you might hear his footsteps going around today. Today, we'll be talking about the topic that everyone else has been talking about for the past 3 to 4 months now: artificial intelligence. Is it coming to take our jobs? Will ChatGPT turn into the next Skynet? Well, no. But it's still a very interesting topic of conversation. Specifically, we'll be focusing on the use of AI in HR. We'll be talking about some use cases, some of the pitfalls of using artificial intelligence in human resources, as well as some of the benefits it may have. I'll also talk to you guys about some AI tools that you might implement into your day to day operations. Because it is a really interesting topic, isn't it? All the discussion of AI ethics aside that we will get to in upcoming episodes, and oh, do we have some surprises for you in that regard and some fun guests coming up. Today we'll specifically just focus on using AI in HR. So, let's get right to it. So the question in everyone's minds: is AI going to replace HR? Is AI going to replace any other job? Because we are now seeing some instances of people simply letting AI do their jobs, especially with ChatGPT and other large language models. Sometimes it yields spectacular results, while in other instances it is very disappointing. One thing I want to say about using language models, hi Jack. One thing I want to say about using language models in your day to day is that while on their own, their responses may seem unique and impressive, remember that if someone else around the world asks that language model the very same question, they will probably get equally articulate and very similar results, which does lead to very similar content being produced around the world. Especially if you're using ChatGPT, because there are some go-to responses that ChatGPT always gives out, such as if you're asking it for some strategy advice, every single time the first response is set clear goals and expectations. Now, that isn't necessarily wrong, but you have to remember that if 100 bloggers write about setting clear goals and expectations, nothing's going to be really original. And that does apply to the workplace and HR, because while people may not be able to tell an AI generated response instantly, once they see 9 or 10 AI generated responses back to back to back to back to back to back to, okay, I'm not going to repeat that 9 times, back, they'll probably be able to tell it apart very easily. So let's start talking about it, because the use of AI in HR will only increase as time goes by. And that does bring with it some serious changes. Because isn't it crazy how we used to think that artificial intelligence was only going to impact like easily automatable jobs and leave creative or skill based industries alone? Because cut to 2023 now, and we have language models and image generators running wild, having every Fortune 500 company under the sun rushing to implement anything remotely AI related into their products in order to stay relevant. We have artists suing generative AI companies because they believe their work is being stolen. But artificial intelligence is still a brilliant field of technology. And even though it has been getting a lot of attention in recent years, most of the discussion surrounding AI is muddled by tech companies hype trying to create hype, right? Or billionaires spewing science fiction nonsense to cover some of the deep-rooted problems in their non-practice of AI ethics, and a whole lot of clickbait. The question we are asking today is, how does AI impact the HR industry? The answer, as we will cover in this podcast, is in a variety of different ways. It's very nuanced. So let's dive into it. So, let's just focus on the benefits first, right? What are the benefits of AI in HR? Well, whether we like it or not, AI is revolutionizing the way we do things, and the HR industry is no exception. In recent months, we've been enjoying a science fiction esque discourse when it comes to the discussion of AI, with people being divided into two very extreme sides of the discussion. Advancements in AI technology are either evil practices coming for our jobs or some of the greatest achievements in human history. While the right stance probably lies somewhere in the middle, here are some of the benefits we might get from using AI in human resources. Number one is probably the simplest: automation of mundane tasks. One of the major benefits of using AI in HR is the automation of boring tasks. As with almost every corporate positions, there are aspects of the job where we, the people, can suddenly go, I can probably train a monkey to do this. Some of the most boring tasks that require none of our skills often end up taking most of our time, don't they? So, for example, in HR, who wants to sift through resume on resume and on resume or schedule each interview manually when we can use AI powered tools to do that job? It does free up a lot of time for HR professionals, time that they can use focusing on more interesting work or strategic initiatives. Number two, in terms of benefits, could be data driven decision making. Another awesome benefit that comes with AI is the ability to make data driven decisions. With AI powered HR analytics software, or HR professionals can get valuable insights and predictions to help them make informed decisions that benefit the company and its employees. There are some incredibly effective HR software that already take advantage of artificial intelligence to create powerful data driven reports and insights for their users. Another key benefit that comes with using AI, which really depends on the data sets you use, is reducing bias. Because biases are just a part of us humans, whether are aware of them or not. But AI, if you create the data set correctly, doesn't have any biases. So while we hope that one day this particular benefit of using AI in HR will be irrelevant, today it is still rather useful, right? While there are many things humans have that AI doesn't, which makes us better than our robot counterparts, having biases is not one of them. Unless we spoil their datasets, AI tools won't have the same unconscious biases us humans do. Using AI to analyze resumes and candidate data can reduce the impact of unconscious biases and help HR teams build a more diverse and inclusive workforce. So, what are some examples of AI tools for HR? Well, number one is Teamflect. Teamflect is an all-in-one performance management application designed specifically for Microsoft Teams and is a great way to take advantage of AI in HR. Teamflect has plenty of useful modules that help users manage performance inside Microsoft Teams. However, it is Teamflect's feedback module that makes use of ChatGPT itself. Teamflect's feedback templates make asking for, giving, and receiving feedback very easy. But what happens if you receive more feedback than you can review and analyze? Well, you simply press the Summarize with AI button, and Teamflect uses ChatGPT to review all the feedback you receive throughout a particular review period of your choosing and brings you a summary highlighting your strong suits and areas of improvement. Another great AI tool for HR should be HireLogic. It is one of the best AI powered recruitment tools out there. When using AI in HR, it is critical not to lose the human element, and we'll get to that. That is precisely what Hired Logic does so well. It records online job interviews, transcribes them, and then presents humans with the necessary insight to make the decisions themselves. It isn't a robot conducting the interview or making the decisions for you. Using artificial intelligence in HR should be all about automating tedious and cumbersome tasks, and that is exactly what Higher Logic takes care of. Another great AI powered HR tool is Presentations AI. Uh, it again demonstrates the correct applications of using AI in HR. It creates well designed, beautiful looking presentation templates in a matter of seconds, saving HR professionals valuable time and energy. Once again, it is an AI tool that doesn't make the decisions for us. Instead, it takes away the laborsome aspect of a responsibility that people and culture professionals have and gives them the freedom to just focus on the real meat and bones of the situation. That being said, with the emergence of Microsoft Copilot, presentations AI might need to find some other uses for itself. So, what are some use cases of AI in HR? Well, we decided to come up with certain scenarios in order to demonstrate the ways in which your organization can utilize artificial intelligence in its HR department. So, here are some of them. As we mentioned, number one is resume scanning. So let's talk about a company, a hypothetical company. We'll call it insert generic company name here corporation. So this is a leading technology company, right? And it receives hundreds of resumes daily for various job openings. Their HR team is overwhelmed with the sheer volume of applications they need to review. So what do they do? To streamline the process, they implement an AI-powered resume scanning system. The system utilizing natural language processing algorithms to analyze resumes, extracting relevant information such as skills, qualifications, and experience. As a result, their HR team now spends significantly less time on initial resume screening, allowing them to focus on more strategic tasks. The AI system can accurately identify keywords and match them with job requirements, effectively shortlisting the most qualified candidates. But there are some issues with this strategy and this use case, and we will get to them soon enough. Don't worry about it. Another use case that we mentioned is HR analytics and reporting. So let's come up with another company. Let's call it Real Business Name Conglomerate. It's a global conglomerate with multiple business units spread across various regions, right? So their HR department wants to gain deeper insights into their workforce to make data driven decisions and improve HR practices. Well, to do that, they can implement an AI driven HR analytics tool for reporting. So what that AI reporting platform would do would just analyze vast amounts of HR data, including employee demographics, performance metrics, training records, or engagement surveys. And it would provide HR professionals with comprehensive reports and interactive dashboards that offer real-time insights into some of the key HR metrics, such as turnover rates, employee engagement levels, or diversity statistics. And lastly, another use case can be employee onboarding. So again, this is a little dicier than other use cases, right? Because you want employee onboarding to be a personal situation. You want people to be interacting with each other as they're onboarding new employees. But it is just a really cool notion to have your own AI powered assistant guiding you through the onboarding steps. So, I'm not talking about the more personal aspects of onboarding, such as mentorships or buddy systems. But if you have a particular employee onboarding checklist that you want your employees to follow, so some onboarding tasks that need to be completed or simple information that needs to be passed along, that can be automated. So your real HR humans can do the more human side of the onboarding stuff, such as mentoring the new hires. So, what are some of the best practices for implementing AI in HR? Well, number one is you should start small. Rather than trying to implement AI across all HR processes at once, start with a small pilot program. A pilot program will allow you to test the technology out and identify any issues before rolling it out on a larger scale. Plus, it will give your HR team time to get comfortable with the new tools and processes. Number two is focusing on ethical use because it is really important to ensure that the use of AI in HR is ethical and fair. Be transparent about the use of AI tools with employees and candidates, and make sure that algorithms are not biased against any particular group. And if your employees are going to have conversations with a language model, they should know that they're talking to a language model at that instant. Number three, in terms of best practices of implementing AI in HR, can be investing in training and encouraging the discussion, right? Implementing AI in HR requires significant investment in training for HR staff, as well as for employees who will be interacting with the technology. You should also always encourage open discussion when it comes to the usage of AI tools in human resources or any other department. A great way to hear people out is to conduct some regular employee pulse surveys to check the pulse and see how people are feeling about it. Number four, you should always combine AI with human interaction. While AI can be a powerful tool for HR, it is important to remember that it can't replace the value of genuine human interactions. Don't make the mistake of having AI tools completely take over human jobs. Instead, use them to make the lives of your employees easier, and that should be it. And the last, I guess, best practice for using AI in people and culture or HR is constantly evaluating and improving how you're using it. And that goes for any tool, right? It is important to constantly evaluate the effectiveness of the AI tools in your HR processes and make sure that you're making changes as needed. So you can collect feedback from employees and candidates, monitor the data that is being generated, and use this information to make informed decisions about how you can improve the use of artificial intelligence in human resources. And now we're getting to the juicy part. Right? What are some of the ramifications, some of the pitfalls that you should avoid while using AI in HR? Because AI language models, alongside generative AI technology, are the reason the discussion of AI has gained such popularity in recent times. Tools like ChatGPT, Writersonic, or other AI based language models and chatbots do seem like they would be great for people and culture departments around the world. But you should remember that number one, stochastic parrots are very dangerous. So, what do I mean when I say stochastic parrots? Well, I'm referring to an article by Timnit Gebru, and it's called On the Dangers of Stochastic Parrots. Can language models be too big? What Gebru highlights is that when we are having a discussion with an AI language model, we are talking to a system that's for haphazardly stitching together sequences of linguistic forms it has observed in its vast training data according to probabilistic information about how they combine, but without any reference to meaning. So, a stochastic parrot. So, what Gebru points out in this article is that humans are language based creatures. So, when we see language, when we hear it, when we observe language, we immediately associate it with intelligence and an emotional being. But that is not the case with language models. So, it can very easily create the illusion of genuine human communication where there isn't any. Another key problem with using AI algorithms in HR is a lack of context, right? While AI tools are great at processing large amounts of data quickly and efficiently, they may not always be able to grasp the nuances of a situation or understand the context in which that data was generated. And understanding the nuances of a complicated situation is what HR professionals do best. Right? So when AI tools can't do that, it will more than likely lead to incorrect assumptions or conclusions, which in turn can lead to poor decision making. For example, an AI tool may flag a candidate as unsuitable for a particular role based on certain keywords in their resume without considering other factors such as their experience or soft skills. A lack of contextual understanding can result in missed opportunities for highly qualified candidates, or conversely, the hiring of unsuitable candidates. Number three is no emotional intelligence. And as any HR professional can tell you, emotional intelligence plays a huge role in human resources. Emotional intelligence is one of the most important parts of HR tasks, such as interviewing, providing feedback, and resolving conflict. It involves the ability to empathize, understanding nonverbal clues, and communicating effectively. Now, technically, if we were to go a bit more into the realm of sci fi, you could potentially train an AI tool to pick up on those cues and signs to communicate effectively. Let's say we go there, right? Let's say we built the robot that can love. The problem is, will the candidates being interviewed elicit the same signs, same visual cues they do towards humans, towards the robots interviewing them? I don't think so. So, those are some of the key problems with using AI in HR. Whether you're very anti AI or very excited about using AI tools, one thing is for sure, it will become a massive part of human resources, just as it will become a massive part of any industry, and in the very near future, because Microsoft 365 Copilot is coming, and it is coming very soon. And from the looks of it, it's going to pack a punch. But how will it impact workplaces in general? Well, that is a topic for another day, because we have reached the end of another episode of the Team Check In. I hope you had a great time. From myself, Jack the Puppy, and everyone over here at Teamflect, have a great week.